As dusk fell, protesters remained on the streets of Khartoum, refusing to accept that the military is back in charge. Yesterday's coup threatens to drag Sudan back to its violent militaristic past, and the younger generation say they'll resist. They were unimpressed by their new self-declared head of state, who said it wasn't a coup, just a course correction. He told a press conference that the Prime Minister hadn't been kidnapped by soldiers, but was his guest.
The Prime Minister was in his house. However, we were afraid that he'd be in danger, so he has been placed with me at my home. He is living his life very normally, and when things calm down, he can go back home. So he is with me in my house and not anywhere else.
Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok, sworn in 2 years ago under General Burhan's watchful eye after a popular uprising, struggled to assert himself as leader of an interim civilian-military coalition. His supporters say the military undermined him and sabotaged the transition to democracy. The generals made their move a month before full civilian rule was due to be completed.
The military has the mindset that civilians are not up to par, they're not organized enough, they're not united enough to run a country. And that the only way to run Sudanese people is by using security, force, arms, forcing things. Even the idea of economy is to force it.
Some protesters were being treated in hospital today. They say they were shot by soldiers trying to suppress yesterday's demonstrations.
They started shooting with blanks, then real bullets. I saw 2 people fall to the ground. There were 11 soldiers and 2 colonels in a military vehicle shooting. The vehicle ran over the injured twice.
The US has suspended aid, but Gulf governments who support Sudan's military may undermine efforts to restore civilian rule.
Actually, we've been in close contact with regional leaders, including in the Gulf, to make sure that we're closely coordinating and sending a clear message to the military in Sudan that they should first and foremost cease any violence against innocent civilians, that they should release those who have been detained, and they should get back on a democratic path.
On the streets of Khartoum, they're burning barricades, giving the lie to the military claim that the coup has popular support. Back in 2019, protesters stayed on the streets for months until they brought down a government controlled by the military. Fill the streets, but keep it peaceful, he says, just as they did 2 years ago. But again today, soldiers shot into the crowd. The cost of protest in Sudan is high. Sudan's revolutionaries know how to organize and film protests. That's why the military keeps shutting down the internet and phone lines. But can they prevail a second time? Sudan's military has governed for most of the country's history, and that's how they plan to keep it.